See, what it doesn't get televised is they tried to do that in the community without doing it at the school. You don't hear that part in the news. The parents didn't want it. The moms didn't want it. So the fathers, the men that had to step up, they had to go to the school. They had to catch the kids at school. They couldn't do it in the neighborhood after school. The after school program they tried didn't work. So they had to do it during school to catch the kids there. And what they did was they got unruly kids at school to be more cooperative at school, hoping that what they caught at school would rub off at home. We don't know the outcome of that part. That part isn't somehow the media doesn't catch that part. And they don't mention the part that they tried to do it in the neighborhood and it didn't work. So that brother was like, yo, we got to take this to the school. There's nothing they can do when we on camp, when the kids are on campus and the parents is at work. We over here, we're going to help these teachers out. And the teachers need help like a motherfucker right now. All teachers nationwide, shout out to you for all the tolerance that you guys are dealing with these kids, because they need as much help as they possibly can get because the parents are blind to that. They're treating school like daycare.
Right. There's been employees that you've had that have made mistakes. Right.
Was that last part?
You've had employees.
Say that part one more time.
Yeah. As a boss, you've had employees that have made mistakes. Right. So when they make the mistake, you may let them go. You may manage them or correct them or whatever. Nevertheless, the mistake is still there. So whose responsibility is it to correct the mistake? Right. If you decide that the mistake was so egregious that you let them go. You as the boss are going to have to figure that out, right? Or you're going to have to teach you're going to have to figure out a way to teach that person that made that mistake not to make that mistake again. Now, granted, you have more leverage, right? Because you're the boss of said person, right? And I'm saying I'm paralleling to that. Yes, these women have made a mistake, and if we want the community to be better and to thrive, then as a collective group of men, we have to say, this is what we're going to do to fix it. There was a situation, I think it was in Louisiana, I'll drop it here, where it was chaotic at the schools. I don't know if y'all remember this a couple years ago. And they had all these dads that came, I think maybe 30 to 40 dads that came up to the school.
Report Louisiana, yeah.
Okay. And because the dads were there, things changed, right? They could have said what some of y'all are saying, just let it go. I mean, the moms is out of control. The moms are not doing whatever they need to do. They even went above beyond administration because administration wasn't doing a good job. So they took it upon themselves to try to alleviate a problem that wasn't necessarily their problem. But they understood if they don't do something now, that later it will be a problem of theirs.
Exactly.
So, and
So,
this is
no, he didn't have,
go ahead,
he's
Shannon.
not
My
talking
bad.
to
Go ahead,
you.
Shannon. Go ahead,
You
Shannon.
spoke way too much.
I only spoke. No, go ahead, bro.
Hello, motherfucker.
Oh, we got to
Think
go to
about
be
the
Madden.
brothers that have yeah, we're going to be Madden. Think about the brothers in Louisiana, and I touch on this, and I hear what you're saying, Humble Dad. It's a complex problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a complex problem. My issue is absolving people of responsibility, saying it's on us when we have a situation where women don't have to follow you. The difference between an employee and an employer is you get a paycheck, and if you don't do what I say, you don't get your rent paid. The difference between a coach and a player is if you don't listen to the coach, you don't get to play. Right now, there's no ramifications for motherfuckers not listening in the community.
Stop you because you're uninformed. You keep saying this, but you're uninformed. So look, let me tell you, because what you're saying is very uninformed.
Well,
so
hold on, let me finish. I'm not uninformed.
The programs I ran.
I'm not done.
The programs I ran in New Jersey.
I run programs out here in LA too. Listen, let me finish because we've been on this. I want to pass it to B-Man. I just want to say this.
But what you're saying is untrue. I'm just going to say that. But please
I got
continue.
you. I'm untrue. I don't know what I'm talking about, Deshaun. So as an esteemed member of Alpha Phi Alpha, you know what I'm talking about, Sean, which is the truth.
Yeah, I know, but I disagree. I'm just because I do this.
Okay,
and this no disrespect. I'm just saying what you're saying is correct.
I'm simply now the brothers that happened in Louisiana. You know they had to do. See what it doesn't get televised is they tried to do that in the community without doing it at the school. You don't hear that part in the news. The parents didn't want it. The moms didn't want it. So the fathers, the men that had to step up, they had to go to the school. They had to catch the kids at school. They couldn't do it in the neighborhood after school. The after school program they tried didn't work. So they had to do it during school to catch the kids there. And what they did was they got unruly kids at school to be more cooperative at school, hoping that what they caught at school would rub off at home. We don't know the outcome of that part. That part isn't, somehow the media doesn't catch that part. And they don't mention the part that they tried to do it in the neighborhood and it didn't work. So that brother was like, yo, we got to take this to the school. There's nothing they can do when we on camp, when the kids are on campus and the parents is at work. We over here, we going to help these teachers out. And the teachers need help like a motherfucker right now. All teachers nationwide, shout out to you for all the tolerance that you guys are dealing with these kids, because they need as much help as they possibly can get because the parents are blind to that. They're treating school like daycare. And so that's why that program really worked, but it didn't work at home. And that's one of the issues I'm having with absolving the responsibility of parents, because right now iPads is raising everybody's kid. Roblox and Fortnite and VR games and all that kind of stuff. People are just maintaining their kids. They're not raising them. The kids can't read. It's why? Because the parents aren't even making them read a book, a page, a sentence at home. They don't even give them homework right now. My sons don't get homework. It's weird to me. What do you mean there's no homework? Oh, they need to take a break. And we're thinking about giving them an extra hour of sleep before school. We're trying to pass that initiative. It's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And I think the whole point is to keep people dumb. I know we talk about smart, no child left behind, but I think they want to keep these kids dumb because the dumber they are, the more they'll be needed in the workplace.
They'll fall in line easier.
But go ahead, B Madden.
You go ahead, B Madden.
Damn, Shannon, I go after you. I mean, hell, you've been cooking, my brother. That's all I got right there. Shannon over here cooking today. He cooking tonight. Sorry earlier, guys. I was having some technical issues and all that. But anyways, jumping in, I was able to see the clip real quick. First off, I need to put on the record and say this. I know Dr. Umar personally. I have hosted a couple of events with him and panels and emceed some events with him. I've actually donated money to bring him to come speak to a few events in Texas as well. So this is years ago. And so I respect the brother dearly. I love what he's trying to do and what he's attempted to do in the community and what he's done when it comes to his studies with young Black men and Black boys in the schools and all that type of stuff. I'm here for that 100%. But kind of like what Shan said, he did contradict himself a few times. And I don't agree with everything that he says all the time at all. But I do support the brother and I support what he's trying to do. But anyways, with that being said, I don't like the idea of putting all the blame on men and Black men especially. And like you said, kind of like what Shan said, absolving women from all of their bad decisions. When it comes to who they choose to be with, who they choose to lay down with, who they choose to make children with, and who they choose to help or not help raise those children, especially those young boys, and the help that they may or may not be getting from the community, from their brothers, from their cousins, from their grandfathers, from their any other male that's around them in their family. I am a big believer that if you really want to invoke change in your community or in our community, you have to first take care of yourself first. Get yourself together. Men, get your finances together. Men, get your situations together. Get your work situations together. Get your business together. All that on point. Every brother out there needs to get as rich as they possibly can get. You become as wealthy as you can get. Not saying you got to be a cajillionaire. What I'm saying is that make as much money as you possibly can. Okay, find your queen and then be fruitful and multiply. Okay, the best way you can change a community is through example, leading by example. And that's you having your household together, your wife together, your family together, your kids together, and show that as an example to the community. Because once you do that, those type of that type of behavior is infectious. It's infectious. And the thing is, too, as your children grows, your kids need friends. They're gonna have friends in the neighborhood. They're gonna have friends at the schools that they go to. You're gonna meet other young brothers out there. You're gonna meet other single mothers out there that do need help. And the thing is, it's gotta be a natural thing. It can't be forced. It can't be like, hey, I see, young sister, I see you failing with your son over there. Let me help him out on Saturdays or Sundays. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that. There's too much pride, there's too much ego, there's too much going on there. It has to be a natural thing. And when you're working in your purpose and you're working and moving in a natural state, in an honest state, and being the real natural person that you are, things just attract to you. Vibrations is a real thing in this universe. So when you are vibrating a certain level, people are attracted to you. People want to come to you. They see how your kids are behaving, how they're acting, how they're being raised, how you're keeping your home in order. Okay. And again, that has to multiply. So again, you handle yourself, you get your stuff together, you get your wife, you get your kids, you got them in line, you got them together. And then what happens then your friends are doing the same thing. Then your homeboys are doing the same thing. Everybody in your circle is doing the same thing. Next thing you know, a whole neighborhood is starting to act a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Now you're invoking change in that part of town. Now you're invoking, and there's programs out there. There's different things out there. Humble Dad, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Sean, I hear you about the programs and all that. That's real. It does help people. It does work. It can work. It can work. But I'm not saying it's working in mass. There's a lot of things broken. There's a lot of things that are not attracting these young men to join some of these clubs. And people talk about role models and stuff in the community and whatnot. Everybody's looking up to rappers. Everyone's looking up to athletes. Everyone's looking up to, other celebrities and that kind of stuff. Those kids are idolizing them because they get money.